My generation, probably every generation, but my generation, we were lied to about so much stuff. So many things, like my whole life. Like big lies about really big stuff, but also little things. When I was a kid, Milo was a superfood. That's weird, isn't it? Do you remember ads for Milo? It was like, eat this chocolate powder with a litre of milk and you'll be good at mountain biking. What the fuck? And we all believed it. We were like, fuck yeah. Pour me a Milo, I'm going to the Olympics. Weird lies as well, like some lies that weren't even for advertising, weren't on the telly or whatever, but they just permeated society, like a rumour. Someone just started it and then everyone would just say it. Like I thought, up until very recently, about 4 years ago, I thought that if you turned your phone on during the flight, the plane would crash. That's not true, that's never been true. Why did anyone tell me that? Why was that a thing? Do you know how much anxiety that caused me? Every time I sat down on a plane, I was like, fucking hell, this is a lot of responsibility to put on these 100 random people. Can we check that Daryl from Brunswick's turned his off? He might accidentally MH370 us without even wanting to. Weird lies, like this one, this was actually quite embarrassing. I found this out about 3 months ago. Someone must have told me this when I was young. Thought it my whole life. I thought that the little dots at traffic lights on the ground, the little dots, tram stops, train stations, I thought they were for grip. Just grip. They're for blind people, so blind people know that there's a thing. My whole life I was like, fuck, lucky this grip's here, that's good. You gotta lie sometimes. Like to kids, you have to lie a bit sometimes. Like I work at the school. We had, this is funny because there's staff from the school here tonight. Anyway, I'm not going to look at you, but anyway. I hope this doesn't give anything away. Anyway, okay. We had an athletics day, right? At some point recently, and I was timing the 100-metre sprint, right? Me and a couple other staff members were timing the 100-metre sprint, right? And we're doing it all day, timing it, doing. I'm timing the person that crosses the line first. So we all start our timers at the same point, and then when the person that comes through first crosses, I stop mine. Someone else does the person that comes through second, and then third, right? And then we walk over, tell the times to the scorer person. But we're doing this all day. We're fallible human beings. We make mistakes, of course. Sometimes we'd go over to the scorer thing to tell the scores, and the person that was recording the person that came through second would say his time. And I'd be like, that's weird, my time's longer than that. Doesn't quite work. And the kids are walking over like, what time did I get? And you just have to be like, fuck, you say 15:09, I'll say 14:08, I guess, I don't know. Just make it up. How bad is that? For the staff that are here tonight, if that's wrong that we did that, that was just a joke. That didn't happen. If it's fine that that happened, then it did happen. But if it's not, that was just a joke. My parents used to lie to me all the time. Like, I feel like a lot of families have a story about, like, pets and lies with their parents. Like, there's often, like, a thing. We had guinea pigs growing up. This was our thing. It's quite a weird story, actually. We had 3 guinea pigs. My sisters and I each had 1 guinea pig. We had this coop for them outside, this guinea pig hutch thing, or whatever they're called. They were in there a lot of the time, but then after a while we started just letting them into the backyard, our 3 guinea pigs, and they just roam around the backyard. They were very tame. We loved them very much. Strangely though, after a while, a few months of this, you'd start going into the backyard and you'd be like, whoa, that's weird. I don't really recognise that guinea pig. Or that one. Or that one. Or those 6. And after a while, it was honestly an infestation. It was quite full on. Like, we didn't really go into the backyard for a while. Like, they sort of ran the backyard. You'd stick your head out there, there'd be hundreds of them, like, burrowing under stuff, jumping up. They had a full community out there. It was really full on. And then eventually my dad's like, okay, we got to do something about this guinea pig problem. And he starts rounding them up, right? And he's like catching them. And what we were always told, like my sisters and I, we still loved these guinea pigs, right? In our eyes, they're still our pets. And what we were always told was that, and I even went a few times on this to do this drop-off. We grew up in Adelaide. At the Adelaide Zoo, there's a petting zoo attached to it with like goats and rabbits and guinea pigs. We were always told that that's where they were ending up, in this beautiful little petting zoo. Kids could come and pat them, blah, blah, blah. And I think we had a lot of guinea pigs. I think a few of them did end up in that petting zoo. And then at a certain point, Adelaide Zoo was like, we're full. And at that point, and I only found this out 3 weeks ago, they just started feeding them to the snakes. Yeah. And paying my parents for it. Like they were getting a fee for each guinea pig. How fucked is that? That's pretty thrifty, isn't it? They were both working full time and then they had this guinea pig business on the side. What the hell? I found this out. One snake in particular apparently loved our guinea pigs, the Anaconda at the Adelaide Zoo. I found this out 3 weeks ago on the phone to my dad, and I was in Adelaide at the time. And apparently he said, like, pretty much all our guinea pigs went to this one snake, the Anaconda at the Adelaide Zoo. Like, she just loved our guinea pigs. And I was like, fuck this, I'm going to go to the Adelaide Zoo. And I went there, and I went into the reptile house, and I saw the Anaconda, and on the plaque it says she's been at the Adelaide Zoo for 35 years, so I know it's definitely her. And she's got a name, she's called Mrs. Chaswood, that's what they've called her. And I looked at her and I said, you fucking piece of shit, Mrs. Chaswood.